I think it's fair to say that one of the things Tyson Fury is famous for, or even infamous for, is his contradictions. Even more so than Carl Froch. And here we have an example of this. So, on the 12th of June, Michael Benson put out this tweet. The Mail Sport is his source. And it's a quote from Tyson Fury, who said, Usyk is, and he's speaking in regards to Joshua versus Usyk. He said, Usyk is a southpaw, clever, technically very good. He's smaller, but he handled Derek Chisora, who is physically tougher than Joshua. So while I'm absolutely confident of beating Wilder, I'm not so sure about AJ not losing his fight. Right? So that was on the 12th of June. Fast forward 4 days to June 16th. Michael Benson puts out this tweet. This time the source is seconds out, so any of you can go and watch that interview. Assuming it was a video interview rather than a written interview, but either way, it's a quote from Tyson Fury, again talking about AJ versus Usyk, and this time he says, I don't believe Usyk is a heavyweight. I just think he's a pumped up cruiserweight. In my opinion, Chisora beat Usyk, and Joshua is a much bigger, stronger man. I think he walks right through Usyk. So he has literally flip-flopped over the course of 4 days. Literally two opposite views, completely different from each other, from the same man about the same fight over the course of 4 days. What on earth is going on there? Now, some people might say, well, perhaps Tyson Fury hadn't seen the Usyk Chisora fight when he was quoted as saying this a few days ago. And in the 4-day period between the two quotes, he actually went and watched the fight. And after seeing it, he thought, you know what? Nah, I changed my mind. Actually, AJ's going to walk through this guy. I mean, that's possible, but he was talking as if he knew what happened in the fight. And he was saying that, well, where are we at now? Yeah, he handled Chisora, right? He's smaller, but he handled Chisora. But he's not, and you know, all this talk about him, southpaw, clever, technically very good, smaller, but he handled Chisora, and then he's like, he's not really a heavyweight, he's a pumped up cruiserweight, and so on. So is it that he hadn't seen the fight and that watching the fight changed his mind? Or is there something else going on here? I suspect there's something else going on. And what I suspect is going on is that he is basically trying to discredit Anthony Joshua before he gets a win over Usyk. So let's say AJ wins against Usyk. Tyson Fury can come out and say, he's a blown up cruiserweight. Really and truly, AJ should have gone right through him. You see what I'm saying? He's setting it up. He's trying to manipulate the public perception into believing that not only should Anthony Joshua be beating Usyk, he should be walking through him in a couple rounds. Anything less than that is a damning indictment on Anthony Joshua and his claim to be the number one heavyweight. You see, I think, or I suspect, this is what Tyson Fury is trying to do. He's trying to shape the perceptions of the public to expect a certain type of performance from AJ. And if he has trouble, if he struggles, then Tyson Fury can come out and say, see, I told you, AJ's not that good. This is a pumped up cruiserweight. You should have walked through the guy. Now, I'm also open to the possibility that he's not doing that and that it is just a case of him not having seen the Usyk Chisora fight. I'm sure there are going to be people, well, perhaps there'll be people in the comment section saying, no, he did see it because he did such and such an interview and he talked about it before. If that is the case, I'm unaware. Okay, so don't get too angry here, folks. But I'm open to the possibility until somebody can produce a video for me or whatever, where it's very clear and obvious that Tyson Fury had watched the Derek Chisora Usyk fight prior to coming out with what he said here, which is quoted by Michael Benson, the source being Mail Sport. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below about Tyson Fury's apparent contradiction here. In the space of 4 days, going from saying that he's not sure, not very confident AJ can beat Usyk. A few days later, he's saying AJ walked straight through him. What do you guys make of this? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And by the way, before I go, I'm not sure if I'll do a video about this, but Michael Hunter, who of course faced Usyk in the cruiserweight division, he also believes that, I say also, he concurs with Tyson Fury's initial statement. And he's not sure that AJ can beat Usyk. He's not very confident that AJ can do it at all. He gives AJ basically a puncher's chance, but he appears to believe that Usyk's just going to be too skillful for him. And it's going to be a real tough, difficult night for AJ trying to pin this guy down. He believes that Usyk is just a bit more polished and just a bit too skilled for Anthony Joshua. We'll see. Interesting stuff from Michael Hunter. And a lot of people are going to say, well, he would say that, wouldn't he? Because he lost to Usyk. So, of course, he's going to talk him up. But, yeah, there could be an element of that. It's also a prediction, though. So if you talk a guy up and say, yeah, he's going to give AJ this and that trouble, and then it turns out to be an easy fight for AJ, then you look foolish, right? So, I don't know. I tend to suspect that Michael Hunter, for the most part, genuinely believes that Usyk is going to give AJ a real tough night's work and perhaps genuinely believes he's going to win. So, anyway, that's a separate situation. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Come and join me on Patreon and access my weekly no-holds-barred, censorship-free podcast where we lift the lid on a wide range of controversial topics. It's not mainstream friendly, it's not politically correct, but that's the whole point. We dare to stand as a beacon of reason against an army of insanity. Just head on over to my Patreon page and select the tier called Hatman Hot Topics. You'll gain access to a minimum of 2 hours of exclusive content every single week, including podcasts, videos, interviews, live stream Q&A sessions, as well as my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. Not to mention a vast back catalog of hundreds of hours of previous episodes. You can listen via the Patreon app with the option to download in high quality MP3. We've also got a Discord server where you can come and chat and hang out with myself and other members. There's no contract, no commitment, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.